It's your destiny to greatness with Dr. C and Brothers Keeper. Today, where we've been, where we're going, and Friday trivia. And now, here are Dr. C and Brothers Keeper.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm fine.
That's good. That is good because it's so important to have someone who is fine. Didn't say you were perfect, but you say you were fine because that helps to encourage me and those who are viewing and watching us today.
Mm-hmm.
And we hope that if you don't have someone in your immediate corner, that you'll come to realize that you have us, and then there are others. And by the end of this show, we believe that you will believe that same thing. So speaking of our topic for today's show, too soon to say goodbye. Too soon to say goodbye. Many of us have experienced people that we really love to leave us prematurely. But today we want to focus on those who died by suicide. Okay? Very, very important topic. This topic is very near and dear even to us. So we want you to be able to kind of connect with us and to be able to, if you believe in prayer, just pray with us that we'll be able to do this topic some justice and be able to encourage someone along the way. So Brothers Keeper, we're talking about too soon to say goodbye. You know, sometimes we have to say goodbye or see you later, but when it's because of suicide, that makes it so hard and difficult.
Because if I
go
speak,
ahead.
Dr. C, because we are accustomed to having to deal with people dying of natural causes, dying maybe in a car accident,
Right.
or maybe in a house fire.
Yeah, it's
But
hard, but
it's hard to fathom the idea that someone would take their own life. That's just nothing that you'll get used to.
no, never.
Even though we don't get used to the other stuff, so I'm not trying to downplay
No,
that either.
You're not. But this is a grief that it just doesn't go away. Of course, you begin to move and to live, so to speak. But that does not go away.
Because with that one, there are many questions that come with that one. The what, why, when, how,
Right.
where.
Right. Many times on our friends or loved ones' part who chose that method of death, and then on our part as well. Did we do? Could we have done?
Yes.
Did we say? Or maybe we shouldn't have said. All these things.
Why didn't I see?
Right. It seemingly has no resolution for us. For us. I know my sister's death by suicide. I know my dad never got over that. And ever so often he would say something to let us know that was still real heavy on his heart.
Yes, and even with me, I've had a lot of, well, not a lot, a few of my family members to decide to take that route.
Yes.
And the way I look at it now is I'll take that which seemingly would mentally beat us down to as it's working for my good. Because I've approached so many people who have talked to me about considering that type of thing.
Right.
And once I can share with them what I've been through, I think that is not what they expect to see or hear. It overwhelms them to the point where they have to reconsider whatever the short-term issue they had and they contemplated, as you said,
Yeah.
a long-term solution.
Yeah, yeah.
So they have to reconsider. I guess maybe they're saying, well, I don't think my situation is as bad as I thought it was. But only because I share what happened with me. And it's not that when I share it with them that I don't feel grief when I'm doing it. But I have enough strength to be able to understand what the goal is.
Right.
To take that issue and use it as a positive and springboard me into an area where I can help someone that I can see
Right. Exactly.
that's having these problems,
Yeah.
that maybe I didn't see them, but I can see this one because of what happened to them.
Today we want to look at this subject and be able to address it so that it'll be helpful to us, as well as somebody who may be thinking that their life is not worth saving or keeping right now. One thing I was thinking, Brothers Keeper, is that even within the church, this needs to be addressed.
Yes.
Because some way, shape, or form, we are coming across either the people who are choosing this way out or the family members. And if we're not addressing it, the seriousness of it, and then on the other side, the hope or that if we're not expressing that there is hope, then we're not doing our job. We're not being as helpful as we could be in the body of Christ.
Yes, Dr. C, and I come to realize that as how we started the show, when I said, I'm fine, there was a reason why I responded that way. Because there are very few of us out here can detect when a person is being sincere about being fine, or when they're using that to cover up a more serious issue that's going on deep within them, but they got this facade, and you can't even really tell whether they're fine or not. And many of them that are contemplating suicide, that is their response. I'm fine.
Yeah.
But they're dying on the inside, but on the outside they're putting on the facade that everything's okay. Just so some of their friends and family wouldn't have to worry
Right.
at that moment.
Right. Well, we're going to come together because this is serious and because it's important, and we just love and we want to hold on to all of our friends and loved ones, because it is too soon to say goodbye to the potential that lies within,
Yes.
to the hope that should be there. It's just too soon. So while we're going to take this short break, we want you to think about this subject and what it is that you can say or do to help someone, or what questions you may have that need to be addressed. So we'll be right back. We're back, ladies and gentlemen, and we're talking about a very sensitive and dear subject to many. And this is the subject of suicide, and our title of today's show is Too Soon to Say Goodbye. So even before we knew that we were actually saying goodbye to that person or persons, Brothers Keeper, you were saying that there are warning signs that we may not even be aware of.
Yes. Dr. C, I've listed a few, and maybe it could be a help to someone else. And they also say that because of the stressors that may exceed our coping ability, there are some of the reasons why suicide occurs. And some of the warning signs are a sudden calmness. So maybe you had a person that was rowdy, and all of a sudden they become calm. That's a warning sign, but if we're not paying attention, or we're not being educated to know what the warning signs are, we don't even know what to look for. So another one is withdrawal. A person just become inward. Sleeplessness. They can't sleep, and many times we see people walking around, we see the symptoms, and we just think it's just whatever, you know what I mean? Sometimes it could be just a recent life crisis that they had, just so overwhelming
Yeah.
that as you said earlier, Dr. C, that they lose all hope. They have a feeling of hopelessness. Another is the threat of suicide. Sometimes when people going around telling you that they're going to do it, it doesn't mean they're not going to do it. Because some people say, if they're talking about it, that means they ain't going to do it. No.
That's not so. That's
not so. That's a warning sign. Because if that is not a laughing matter to tell someone that you're going to kill yourself.
It is not.
And one of them is making preparations. And if I could just pause there with making preparations and dig a little deeper into that one on a personal note. Many of you may not know, but I lost a son to suicide at 22 years old. And I can understand the part now about preparation as far as in his mind. I can see it now, but at the time when I was involved in the preparation process, but I was unaware because I wasn't educated at the time on the subject matter. He called me and asked me could I come pick him up. And he just wanted to go riding. So we went riding, and as we rode, he just talked non-stop. And his attitude was just at an even keel. And he began to tell me about things that I mentioned to him in his upbringing, the little pointers that I was telling him about that at the time he was reluctant to listen to. I mean, he was being a kid. And he was telling me now he understands. And he began to tell me things that I had forgotten that I even told him, like he's 7 or 8 years old. Dad, now I understand. And I'm thinking at the time, like, oh, wow, our prayers have been answered.
Right.
You know, he finally got it.
Yeah.
Then a few weeks later, my sister walked up to me and told me, I have something to tell you. And she told me what he had done. And right at that instant, I said, wow, that's what he was doing. No one had to remind me or anything. It just came right to me. He was making it right with his dad before he did what he was contemplating to do. So if that could help someone, or you happen to see that, don't discount those actions. Maybe this show today would bring some light to the situation, or you might have seen some things that you don't even know what you were looking at the moment, but now you can reconsider some of the actions of others, and you might be that person they just might need someone to talk to. Show that someone cares for them at that moment. It may deter them from, as Dr. C said, taking a short-term issue and having a long-term solution.
Well, it's encouraging to us to not be calloused, because there are times when we can look at a person, and if that person has done certain things to us, or if they're living a way that we don't think that they should be living, and we get on our self-righteous high horse instead of saying, you know what, there's a problem, there's an issue, someone is hurting, and just leave all that other stuff alone. Sometimes people, they're depressed and need someone to be able to speak to them and just to let them know, I'm here and I will listen. I'm not going to judge you.
Yes.
There are times when mental illness comes into play, and as a Black community, we're some of the ones who are least likely to get the help that we need, especially males.
Yes.
And when you're talking, if it's a combination of things, and then you can't get out of your head, or you don't want to pick your head up, or you just feel like no one's going to understand, or that feeling on the inside just begins to get so great. And this is not just older people. These are younger people, even elementary school age, because of all the trials and the torments. And we'll look, oh, well, that's nothing. But it is something. If I'm hurting in a stage, then that's something to me. And that's what we need to get to. Start to learn and to understand and have that compassion. And as a group and a body, we're saying at all costs, we're going to help in the prevention.
Yes, and in case anyone run across someone who may be having some warning symptoms or signs, or they're not looking as though you think there should be. We have a hotline for the National Suicide Prevention. The number is 1-800-273-TALK.
Yes.
And that, I love that they use the word talk, because many times people who are contemplating suicide, they just really need someone to talk to. Someone that may be able to show some compassion, as you said, Dr. C, and be able to understand their plight.
That's right, and that's so important. You can call 1-800-273-TALK or go online to suicidepreventionlifeline.org. And there's someone waiting 24/7, day or night, to be able to talk to you, comfort you. If you feel that there's no one in your immediate circle to be able to do that, there is hope. There is hope. Young people, middle age, older people, we need you. We need you to hang in there. And sometimes we don't even know why we've shifted. If we've been a person who have been pretty stable, but then if we take some of these medications and some side effects cause us to slip into those warning areas. That's why we need to be able to talk, and just something simple as, I don't know why I feel like this, but I'm hurting and I don't want to live anymore. And if we start doing that, then we can work together to combat this. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, we thank you for being with us thus far. When we come back, we're going to go into the hope side and leave you with a message of hope. Whether you are a parent or a church member, community member, and you've experienced this, there's hope. There's hope to be able to cope. We'll be right back. Don't let your past, your future, anything steal what God has ordained for you to have. And I am a firm believer that the enemy, Satan, the devil, that he knows there's so much in us, and if we were afforded the opportunity to walk towards and to work in our greatness and in our potential, we would just blow many people's minds, but just be able to be such a blessing to others. And therefore, for some people, everyone has tests and trials and challenges, but for some people, it seems like it's even greater, that struggle. You know, when I look at you and I knew about your son, but just the others that's near and dear and very close to you in your family, I didn't know about. And it wasn't because I just think that everything in your life is perfect, because I know different from that. But these are things that I would have never even thought about happening to anyone that's close to me. I mean, not just one, but more than one. And you sit and you're able to encourage people on a daily basis, not just about this situation, but you encourage people that there is hope and they can make it. And I love you for that. That is just so beautiful.
Yes, thank you, Dr. C. And I often tell people, as you often hear me say, that I invest in people.
Yeah.
And if anything that I can do to help someone else along the way, then my living would be in vain.
Right.
Though I may struggle with things that happen to me, I understand that we are all part of a bigger picture. You know, the paradigm is bigger than what we see, and my little issue is not worth causing me to stumble, and I may cause someone else to stumble. So I ask for strength to understand what's going on, and at the same time allow me to be a blessing to someone else. as you say, then
Yes.
give them some hope.
You're definitely being that, and just to help encourage and strengthen you. I went and I looked, I said, I know that in the Word of God there is encouragement. And yes, there were issues or episodes of suicide even in the Bible, but even through that, God was there. And when I started looking at some of the scriptures from the New Century Version, so don't worry because I am with you. Don't be afraid because I am your God. I will make you strong and will help you. I will support you with my right hand that saves you. Isaiah 41:10. And if I can do one more, give your worries to the Lord and He will take care of you. He will never let good people down. God's not going to let us down. He's not going to let you down. We have to allow Him to come in and direct us on how to talk and what to do. And if we would allow Him to do that, then He will lead us to people to be able to, sometimes you just need somebody to listen to.
Yes.
Just need somebody just to listen to them and to be able to get things off. But if it's you that are in need of someone to listen to you, let this be the day that you will take heed. We're here. Someone's there for you. And we just want to encourage you with that.
Yes.
Brothers Keeper, we're still going to have our Friday trivia, but I believe that the Friday trivia question, as you tie it in, as I know you will, we still want to be able to leave on a note that there is hope.
Yes. There is hope. And and going into the Friday trivia question, and as Dr. C stated, I would try to tie it in. And she stated earlier that even in the Bible days, there was suicide. So it's nothing, this is nothing new under the sun.
Right.
So my question today is coming from the area of time when Jesus was being tried and convicted and then crucified.
Mm-hmm.
A few of the disciples, they lost a little hope at that time, and it's sad to say, but it was their destiny because Jesus knew it was going to happen. Yeah. And my question to you today is, which of His disciples committed suicide?
Okay. So which of Jesus' disciples committed suicide? Get your answer in. By tonight, 11:59 p.m., email them to your.destinytogreatness@gmail.com. But just want to leave you with this. The disciple that committed suicide because of something he had done, Jesus would have readily forgiven him.
Yes.
If he had asked for forgiveness, because there were some other disciples who sought forgiveness, mm-hmm. and their lives lasted. Mm-hmm. So that was the thing. You haven't been too bad. You are not hurting too much that you can't make it. Please do not choose a permanent solution to a temporary problem. Yes, it's real and it's big right now, but you can make it. And parents and loved ones, you too can make it. If you've suffered through this, let's see if we can't hold on together. Hold on and touch each other and touch and agree that that heart might feel a little better. Have to allow Jesus to come in, and He will be able to comfort you and to let you know that things will get better. So, too soon to say goodbye? I'm going to choose to say, see you later. And on that, we'll see you next time. Have wealth and beauty. Have wealth and beauty.
This is Robert Garvin, and today I would like to talk to you guys about the taboo subject of suicide. Most of us go through periods in our lives when we feel down due to difficult situations or stressful times that come up in our lives. But what happens with us, we typically pick ourselves back up and we resume a normal life. But there are some who cannot bounce back, and they continue on a downward spiral, and they fall into deep depression, and they end up having feelings of hopelessness, and they become despondent. When these people have reached this point, suicide is typically their answer, or usually is their answer. But I say to that person, reach out to someone. It's okay to talk to someone, whether it's a family member, a coworker, clergy, professional help, regardless if you're feeling shameful or embarrassed. Your life matters to many people, more than you can probably imagine. God put us all on this earth for a great purpose. So you need to pick yourself up and dust yourself off, because there is a better day. Regain strength so that you can be the help to someone who may be in your exact situation.
It's just me thinking again. I'd like to just take a quick moment and remind everyone that suicide is real. Many of us walk around day to day, see people not knowing that those people with this biggest smile on their face are at home at night or in their quiet place contemplating suicide. So if you could just do me a favor and educate yourself on the risk factors of suicide, the signs of suicide, maybe we can help someone along the way. And if you need more help with understanding suicide, call their local hotline, which is 1-800-273-TALK or 1-800-273-8255. This is Brothers Keeper, and it's just me thinking again.
We are destined for greatness.
I know somehow, some way, we're going to make it. And as long as we keep that near and dear to our hearts and we believe it and we pray about it, we can make it through any situation, any circumstance. You too can make it. Say it to yourself over and over until you believe it. Tell someone else, because it's time for us to take back our friends, our family members, our children from the hands of the enemy. God gave us the power. We just have to use it. So, as you're walking towards your destiny, walk with your head up high and demonstrate the power to make it.
We are destined for